collectible spot. Yeah, we are having a look at the Diamond Select Toys Minimates Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. This fun 4-pack features Silent Bob as Bluntman, Jay as Chronic, Cock Knocker, and Chaka Luther King. They also come with some accessories, and packaged on this, well, actually a very similar package to what we saw with the original poster and DVD treatment, I believe, of Jay and Bob, Silent Bob, that ripped, kind of ripped background there. Of course, with all Minimates, warning, choking hazard, small parts not for children under 3 years of age. These are obviously very, very small pieces. You don't want to be giving them to kids that could potentially swallow them. That's the noise that Spot gave to the indication of swallowing. On the back of the package, just in case you didn't know the characters, Cock Knocker, Chaka Luther King, Silent Bob as Bluntman, and Jay as Chronic. For your read-up, it says Jay and Silent Bob have infiltrated the Bluntman and Chronic movie, disguising Silent Bob as Bluntman and Jay as Chronic. The duo arrive on set with the intention of stopping the film, but director Chaka Luther King wants to see action. Jay and Silent Bob have faced many threats on their cross-country trip, but can they defeat the Cock Knocker? You can also head over to www.diamondselecttoys.com. You can also head over to www.artasylum.com as well for more Minimate pieces. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Jay and Silent Bob 4-pack Minimates. There's more heading your way, guys. Of course there's more heading your way. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. For your consideration, this 4-pack of Minimates come with 4 different clear display stands. Well, not really so much different. There are 4 display stands for your Minimates. I usually keep like a lot of the clear stands in a separate bag. We get so many of them, but I'd like to kind of keep them in a separate bag, so if I ever come across a Minimate that doesn't have a display stand and I want to put them out on display, I can just go right to the bag and pull out, almost like poker chips, but for my Minimates. But you do get 4 of them. Luckily, so far, they seem to all stand just fine without the stands. I'll just kind of put them in the near area. I'm kind of just going to put them over here, just out of view, but I'll have them there if I need them. Let's first have a look at Chaka Luther King. Comes with his little megaphone here. A very colorful band of Minimates. Bring the camera in and have a better look at Chaka. I love saying that. I just love saying that name, Chaka Luther King. He's a really fun looking piece, and again, like very colorful on all the Minimates here. He does have a removable hat, and he does have a removable hat where he features hair underneath. This is a very interesting piece to see because a lot of Minimates don't have, or at least when you give them hats and stuff like that, they usually have a hole, and there's a peg on the underside. Chaka, though, doesn't have that. He just has a regular hat. You could also turn it sideways or turn it backwards. But I like the fact that you don't have a peg hole in his head. That's so... I'm not used to seeing that with a Minimate. Very nice outfit as well. Between the darker blue, he's got a little bit of the gold there around the buttons and around his collar. He's a really fun-looking piece. For your articulation, Chaka does have a ball joint in the head. He has ball joint shoulders, hinged elbows, swivel wrists, right there. He has a swivel waist, and legs go forward, back, and out via the ball joint that's in his thigh, and a hinged knee, not to mention a swivel in the foot. I suppose by comparison, maybe Chaka is the not least interesting, but he doesn't have as much of the cool wow that like the other 3 Minimates have. Still a really fun, great looking piece. Chaka Luther King, I'm going to give you, sir, a 7.5. Putting him to the side, and yes, he still seems to stand okay. Finally, we're having, well, not finally. Finally, we're going to look at Cock Knocker over there. But let's have a look at Jay as Chronic. I like the facial expression that they've decided to go with for Chronic here. Now, you can give him one of his weapons. They come with 4. We'll just give Chronic his weapon here. And it's a little harder to get into his hand because the handle, oh, there we go. The handle of the blade is quite a bit of thickness to it. He doesn't have as much coloring, or I guess from the sense standpoint of both Bluntman and Cockknocker. He, again, is just more all white. His hat is, now this is a case I was talking about here, his hat is part of his hair, but you can see his hair is pegged, so to take it off of Chronic's head, you have a big old hole in his head. Again, not that you would really want to take his hat off, but some nice decorative work on his chest logo emblem there. He's got some nice gold in his belt, a little utility belt going on there. He's got a neat outfit. And I love, too, because I don't think Minimates really are that much to produce. I certainly don't work for Diamond Select Toys, not yet. Maybe one of these days. That's a dream of mine. But I don't think Minimates are really all that much to produce. So I think by the cost of what it is to make one of these, it allows them the opportunity to just branch off and do so many different licenses. This also kind of reminds me of, speaking of license, that sounds like a segue. This weapon here reminds me, of course, Star Wars. I kind of wish, I don't know if they would ever get the license for it, but I would love to see Star Wars Minimates. How cool would that be? A little Darth Vader Minimate. Oh, so cool. Chronic, same articulation as Luther King over here, so I'm not going to really go over probably the articulation for the rest of the pieces. But Chronic, I'm going to give him a 7.5. Putting him down. His weapon may, okay, I was going to say may make him fall. We've got Silent Bob as Bluntman. Interesting little logo there on his shirt. Now his jacket and his shirt are all essentially one piece. They go over top of a standard Minimate body. So it does move around a little bit, like the jacket portion of it. It does move around a little bit, but it's still a really fun looking piece. Likeness, I would say again, maybe not so much to Jay, but to Silent Bob, he definitely looks like Kevin Smith. Of course, he's got the little spiked, pointed hat there. It is all one piece again, so you could take this off. And, you know, if you found a short enough hair piece, you could, you know, just make a regular Kevin Smith. Maybe like Comic Book Men Kevin Smith. That's a great show. Articulation on Bluntman here. It's not as much. He still has all the ball joints and hinges in the arms. But like because the rest of his body is just mostly this piece here, you can't really do too much with the legs. While we're at it, let's also give him a weapon. Put that into his hand, just like so. There we go. And you got yourself Bluntman. I'm going to give Silent Bob as Bluntman, I think I'm going to give him an 8.5. Really fun pieces. Speaking of fun pieces, let's have a look at Cockknocker. Oh, I can only imagine the comments down below. Cockknocker is fun. It's such a fun-looking piece. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the Trickster from The Flash. Remember that old, not the new one, the old Flash with John Wesley Shipp. He looks like the Trickster. So I guess you could do a little tooling. If you maybe found some interchangeable pieces, you can make yourself a little Trickster to go along with a Flash. There's a Flash. Spot's going to eventually get around to reviewing the DC Minimates that from my collection. But yeah, just such a fun piece. Cockknocker has a giant hand. Smaller regular Minimate hand, but this one ginormous hand. This is the kind of thing where if you see a hand like this, and then you know what his name is, stay clear. Now, he does also come with his own accessory. Now, I think with this one, you actually have to, I haven't done this yet with this piece, but I wonder if you actually have to slide it from underneath his hand versus the top. Because his handle, as you can see, the bottom of the handle is wider than the rest of his weapon. Just going to slide it up, and you can get something like this. Technically, yes, he is holding the blade more than the handle, but you get the idea. It doesn't seem like it's the most easiest to change out, or at least put weapons in his hands, so I probably will just end up leaving it as is. I mean, it really, essentially, he's got a weapon. I don't really need to be giving him bladed weapons. Very nice, excuse me, very nice coloring on, on Cockblocker. The dark navy blue, some nice yellow trim there. It kind of goes with his hair. The expression on his face, very priceless as well. And he also has a cape, but the cape is a hard piece. It's just a hard, dense plastic. Cock blocker, I'm going to give you, sir, an 8.5. Today's collectible spot, I was almost going to say it. Okay, you know what? I'll say it. I'll say it and see where the universe puts me. I was going to say, and notice not one Minimate has fallen in this review. Yay! Now, granted, they probably could all fall over now. And they did not. Yes! Today's collectible spot, we were having a look at the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back Minimate 4-pack. And the 4-pack featured Cock Knocker, Bluntman, Chronic, and Chaka Luther King. If you guys are interested in picking this setup for yourself, you can head over to Luke's Toy Store, and they have a whole slew of different Minimate pieces. That's usually where Spot picks up a lot of his Minimates from. And also, they also have a coupon there as well, so you guys can save a little mucho dinero. Stay tuned as well, guys. Spot's going to have more collectible spots and other videos heading your way. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.